All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, May 30th. We got eight, right? Yes, I can count. 8 MLB games to jump into in today's video, like we always do. When we go through each and every one of these games, I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays, like player props that we like within the game as well. What we're not going to talk about is the sunburn that I have on my lip that's now turned scab, which, you know, I guess I'm just a sunburn warrior because I feel like every other video I got something wrong with me due to sunburn. But nonetheless, we're not going to talk about that, but we'll talk about any other plays that we like within each and every one of these games as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment. That's where all of my final plays will live, so that I'm actually rolling with myself. Everything we talk about in the video are plays right now early in the morning that I'm strongly considering and that I like, and that if, you know, I had to pick a side, that's where I would go. But what I actually bet myself will be in the pinned comment. Yesterday, felt like we had something there, and then it just kind of fell through our fingertips. We go 3 and 4. Another night that's not going to kill us, much like, you know, 2 nights ago, but I want to be a little bit better than that. But you know what? Some of these were sweats. Like even that Pirates-Tigers, 3 runs in the first inning, and I was like, we have the under 4. That's tough, right? And then Jared Jones, top of the 5th, lets up a 3-run home run. So we almost even like scrounged that one out, right? But I did like to look for the Dodgers money line. What a good price at that -108. They crushed against a Mets team that seems like they may be spiraling, with the guy in the locker room saying, you know, whatever. But that Royals +115 was nice to cash as well. But nonetheless, guys, a 3 and 4 night, not a winning night, right? So why am I bragging about these wins? In terms of the ride of the day, let's cha-ching it. 5 2/3 from Ryan Pepe Le Pew Puepua and Richie Ricardo. What an awesome username. Cashes this ride of the day. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is that hashtag ride of the day in the comments with a player prop, or not even player prop, just a play in these games that you like today. And I'll be jumping on board with one person's pick, giving you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you win, we continue to ride with your picks. Also shouting you out over my Twitter if you want to go follow me there. But yeah, you lose, you got to face the womp womp. We talk about it, but if you win, like Richie Ricardo, we ride with your pick again. So Richie, looking forward to what you throw in today. All ride of the day considerations must be -145 or better odds. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this smaller than usual slate, but normal for a Thursday here. We got Milwaukee taking on Chicago. Milwaukee right now -120-ish favorites. Total sitting at 8.5. This series has been pretty good so far. We have Milwaukee winning game 1 5-1. Chicago bouncing back, winning game number 2 6-3. That was against Freddie Peralta too. And then we have Milwaukee winning yesterday 10-6. So we have some low-scoring games, some high-scoring games, couple lopsided games as well. This is a spot in which Colin Rea is on the bump for Milwaukee and Jameson Taillon on the mound for Chicago. Neither one of these guys is all that impressive. I will say Colin Rea definitely better at home, so I guess that's a little feather in his cap. But to me, based on what we've seen so far, it's just kind of a back and forth type of a spot. And Jameson Taillon has some good numbers against the Brewers here, especially last time he pitched against them, which was earlier this month. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks, and 16 pitches per inning. So even though he has some shaky numbers on the year, one of his good spots was right here against Milwaukee, and I kind of expect him to do something similar to that overall, because in his career here, he has 80 plate appearances against this Milwaukee Brewers club. It's not like the numbers are crazy. 260 average, 322 WOBA, expected WOBA 337. So it's like kind of middle of the road, but even if he can hang in there and maybe give you 6+ innings pitched, I do think that this is the type of spot where the Cubs split this series. So Colin Rea on the bump for Milwaukee doesn't necessarily scare me. He doesn't have the worst numbers against the Cubs, but overall, these two teams, in my opinion, are fairly evenly matched, and we've seen that so far this series. One team pulls away with it, then the other team pulls away with it. Then the first team that pulled away with it pulls away with it in Game 3. I think something like that happens again today, but I'm expecting the pitchers to pitch fairly well. So I'm also going to lean towards the under here. I think like a 4-3 game or something like that could be in the cards today. So give me the under, as well as taking a lean towards Chicago. And kind of on that same note, it's like Milwaukee's offense, definitely last 30 days against righties, both these pitchers righties, is better than Chicago's. So if I think Chicago's going to win, it means I think the Chicago starter should be able to, or hopefully for the sake of our bet, suppress Milwaukee's offense. Next up, we have Minnesota taking on Kansas City. This is one of the ones that we were on the right side of money line wise yesterday. We liked the under first 5. That did not cash. We've actually lost that 2 straight games in this series here. But Kansas City finally pulls out a win yesterday as underdogs. And they're underdogs again today with Brady Singer on the mound going up against Chris Paddock. So I'm not going to try and rag on Chris Paddock here. He's been pretty good at home, honestly. But overall, I do think for plus money, Kansas City still somewhat of a better offense. I think they're going to be my lean in this spot. And again, it's kind of because they're plus money. If these odds were flipped, so, Kansas City's minus 125 and Minnesota's plus 110, I might even flip my bet. So I'm just riding with the 2 teams that I think are more evenly matched than some might think. And 2 pitchers that should be able to pitch okay against these offenses. But one we're getting plus money for, and I don't think that minus 125. In fact, I think it's like minus 120. Minus 125 is still the number for Minnesota. I don't think that that's worth pulling the trigger on. So if you're on Minnesota, I get it. I'm looking at this from a price perspective, and I'll ride with Kansas City plus 108 again. Much like last game we talked about, Milwaukee and Chicago, 4-game series here between these 2 teams. It wouldn't surprise me if they split this 2-2, which would mean Kansas City would take the win today. So I'll lean towards that. I also don't mind taking a peek at the over. I've seen some 8s go around. You could still get this at 7.5 right now. So don't mind that whatsoever. We have 2 straight games of them not hitting this, but it was 6-5 in game number 1. Maybe they pull something like that out. And that was with 2 decent starts from both sides pitching. So I do think that some late runs could come in here. Kansas City's bullpen, not all that great. Minnesota's bullpen is good, but they should be fairly taxed. A lot of these guys have pitched. So over 7.5 full game is something that I'm considering as well. In terms of player props here, I don't mind taking a peek at Brady Singer over 17.5 outs, just for him to get through 6 innings here. He's been teetering around that line plenty this season. Finish at 16, 15 a couple times. He's only gone over, I think it's 5 of 11 starts. I get it, but he had 21 outs last time he pitched against Minnesota, which was in March. So this could be a decent spot for him to do something similar. He's not a huge fastball thrower, right? He's going to throw a lot of sinkers and sliders, which Minnesota does hit the sinker well, but I've said it before in videos. Time to target pitchers is when they throw a lot of fastballs. That's a pitch Minnesota hits really well. Brady Singer is only going to throw about 12% fastball. His true fastball would be his sinker, and Minnesota's a little bit worse at hitting that. And that's a plus money play as well. I don't think I'd play his over and outs at minus even 105, but for plus 110 over on FD right now, I do think it could be a spot in which we consider. So keep an eye on the pinned comment. May roll with something like that. All right, real quick, before we get to the rest of the slate, I want to talk to you guys about the merch we have here on the channel over on fademe.store. I'm rocking the Gambler 2.0 boxy tee right now. We just launched a new sort of subtle Gambler 2.0 collection, the Blackout collection, which is super, super cool here, guys. But tons of new products over there. That's the one that I'm rocking right now. Comes in a few different colors. We also have the 2.0 hoodie, which this may be the best product that we've released to date. We have the boxy tee embroidered logo, and then as well as the hat, just for that new collection. But we got tons of stuff over there right now, guys. If you want to support us and what we're doing here, head over to fademe.store. We're constantly launching new products with new drops and everything like that, but the stuff we have over there is really good, and this is like legitimate. I don't know how to show you. This is like really good quality stuff. It's not just us picking, whatever a bad name brand quality t-shirt is and stamping a logo on it. We go through samples and testing and everything. So if you do want to further support what we're doing here, further than hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, consider picking up some merch, guys. We get questions all the time. What's your Cash App? What's your Venmo? Can I donate? I'd rather you guys get something tangible in return for giving me money, in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Just like for Ballers, you get the model and the dashboard. For this, if you do want to support monetarily, pick up some merch. I really am confident in the products we have out there right now, especially this tee. Like, this is one of my favorites that we have. It's heavy and light at the same time, which seems awesome. Fademe.store, guys. Go ahead and check it out. But let's get back into the games here. I'll put a link to Fade Me in the pinned comment as well, so it's easy for you guys. All right, next up, we don't have to spend too much time on because we don't have pitchers that we know are starting here. I've seen Sean Armstrong and Alexander, both, on different sites who's pitching today. As of right now, I'll go off of assuming Armstrong's pitching because I've seen more on that side of things. We don't know who is confirmed for Oakland, but I believe Kyle Muller's in there. But nonetheless, I do think that this is a decent price to get Tampa Bay at. This is an Oakland team that's going to have a bunch of righties in the lineup, and Sean Armstrong here, again, assuming that he's pitching, if we go to the dashboard, which I just talked about this, guys, if you want access to this dashboard, it's $2.99 per month. All you have to do is become a channel member. Link in the description, and there should be a join button somewhere near the subscribe and like button right on YouTube, right on the YouTube app or on your computer. But nonetheless, here we go. A lot of righties in this Oakland lineup, and that's actually where he's been good this season. I wouldn't sit there and brag about Armstrong whatsoever this year, but honestly, versus right-handed hitters has been where he's been good, and that's a lot of righties in that Oakland lineup here. So I do think that this could be a decent spot for, it looks like they have 8 righties, 1 switch hitter. So I think that this could be a good spot for Tampa Bay and a good price for Tampa Bay. Even though they've struggled, they did get the win yesterday, 4-3. I could see something similar happening today. So I guess with that in mind, I would also lean slightly towards an under. You can get that at 8.5 right now. I know the graphic says 8, but it's since been bumped to 8.5. All right, Seattle taking on Houston. We have Spencer Spaghetti Arrieta on the mound for Houston, going up against Logan Gilbert here. Gilbert's got a 3.06 ERA on the season. When he's at home, he's been pitching really well. .79 whip, a FIP of 2.53, an expected FIP of 2.87, and a batting average against of 165. Arrieta numbers, not all that great, all right? The dude has, obviously at times looked pretty good, but he seems like he's a consistent 5 innings pitched, going to give you 3+ earned runs, right? So I do think this could be a spot for Seattle. I know that Houston's offense is a little bit better, but look at what's happened so far. 3 straight wins for Seattle. They clearly have Houston's number in this series, and it's not like Houston's trotting out their finest pitcher today. So 4-game sweep seems super risky and unrealistic, but if you put this in a vacuum, I really can't necessarily get to the Houston side of things unless you truly are looking at this saying Houston's offense is about to explode, which then you're just kind of banking on a what if, right? I also don't mind an under. 7.5, 7.5 is a little bit low, right? Like, we can admit that. But overall, like, we haven't really seen much, crazy offense out of these teams yet. 3-2, 4-2, and 2-1 in terms of their game. So unless they're just got a bunch of runs in the backpack and they're ready to take it out and shoot them off, I expect a little bit similar type of a scoring pace here. So I'm going to take the under as well in this spot. I don't mind Spencer. I know the Mariners try to strike out, right? But for Spencer already under 6.5 strikeouts, I could see that being the case. He's only hit the over here 2 out of his 8 starts this season, so 6 of those have been under, and he's landed on 7 strikeouts when he does that. So he's not even cruising by that number. Though Seattle strikes out a lot, I understand it. I could see this being a spot in which he struggles to strike them out because I don't really love his. I don't really like him as a pitcher, I guess. But nonetheless, you know what I mean? I think that this could be a lean for his unearned strikeouts. The one reservation is the fact that Seattle literally strikes out more than anybody. Boston taking on Detroit. Pivetta on the mound for Boston, going up against Jack Flaherty. Pivetta has not been that great at home. He's having a good season overall, but he has kind of struggled at home, to be honest. He throws a lot of fastballs. That's what Detroit loves to hit as well. So there's a lane for Detroit here. But Jack Flaherty does not have the best, track record against the Red Sox here overall, and against this, I guess I should say, the current players on this team. Small sample size, but still, his numbers aren't all that tremendous. 310 average against, an expected batting average of 360, WOBA 390, slugging 535, so definitely not all that great. You can make the same argument against Pivetta. Expected WOBA today of 523, expected slugging 794, batting average against expected 414. So these are 2 pitchers that, though they've been pitching well in Pivetta against struggles at home this year, but haven't really had and are expected to have some issues against the team that they're playing. But overall, I do still think Red Sox at home could be a spot. Detroit, split against Pittsburgh, right? And then, you know, they won. They've lost 6 or 7 of their last 10. Red Sox have won more than half of their last 10. So I'm going to trust the Red Sox here, even though Pivetta did have a bad outing against Milwaukee a few days ago. I'm going to trust him. Does scare me that he's a fastball pitcher, and Detroit hits fastballs really well, but overall, I'm going to lean towards the Red Sox. Their bullpen should be in way better shape. They're already a better bullpen than Detroit, and Detroit's bullpen pitched. Let's see if I have it up. In terms of yesterday, right? Detroit's bullpen pitched 5 guys out of their bullpen. Now, Foley, Fado, these guys are all good to go because they haven't pitched in a while, but still 5 guys out of their bullpen have pitched. So you have a weaker bullpen that is taxed. Boston may be able to pull out some runs late as well. In terms of total, I'm not going to lie. I've kind of gone back and forth in this one. I think I'm going to lean under, but overall, I don't necessarily like those numbers. The expected numbers for each pitcher today kind of have me shaking in my boots. But this could be a spot in which I see like a 2-1 game after 5, and then maybe a 4-3 game after full game. So I'll lean under both first 5 and full game. But again, these pitchers need to come out sharp for that to even be a possibility. When I'm talking about these trends and even player props and whatnot, guys, I'm usually using Outlier here. It's my favorite player prop research tool out there. This is the player prop screen. You can see it right here. By the way, link in the pinned comment, 7 days free. And after that, it's not like a gotcha thing. It's only $19.99 a month after that, which is still an amazing deal for what you're getting. But look into this. Here we go. We got Alex Jackson, right? Under 0.5 bases. You can click in and break it down. On the season, he's only gone over that once. Head to head, you can see his numbers. Let's pick someone that has even more data. Connor Wong, under 0.5, 1.5 strikeouts, right? On the season, he's hit the under in 87% of games. Head to head, he's at the under. You can even look at last year. And what I like is being able to scroll down and look at the batter to pitcher matchup, as well as the batter to the hand of the pitcher matchup, and then the pitcher to the hand of the batter matchup. And you can even break it down via the pitch split that the pitcher is going to throw, and look at the K rate and WOBA for each of these. So this is a really, really cool app, guys. It's both for the computer, like I'm using right now, and everything is also accessible on the phone. I do recommend the computer just because it's so much bigger and easier to click around. But yeah, guys, go test out Outlier. That link will be in the pinned comment. I've been rocking with Outlier for a long time now, so if you're an OG of the channel, you know that we love these guys, and it's an amazing tool. So go check it out, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. Again, 7 days free with that link. Why not go try it for 7 days? The worst that happens is you fall in love with it, and then you have to pay $19.99 a month, which you're probably spending on coffee anyways. You know what I mean? So go check it out, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. We've got a few more games. Let's get to them. All right, Mets taking on the Diamondbacks here. Mets at home. In terms of where we lean in this game, I think I have to look at the Diamondbacks. I just feel like there's drama going on with the Mets right now, getting swept by the Dodgers, getting beat into the ground yesterday. Arizona getting swept by, or actually they've just lost 4 of their last 5 games. And Zach Gallen's on the mound now. I expect him to be able to come out and hopefully pitch well. He had a decent outing against Miami, but kind of let it slip through his fingertips towards the end of the game. That was Braxton Garrett, who just pitched an absolute gem, right? So Zach Gallen, I like his spot here. Overall, you're getting a decent price as well. Minus 120 right now on the money line. Is that the updated line? Let's see. Minus 120 over on DK. 2 teams that have been struggling. One of them seems like they're struggling a little bit more, and you're giving me the ace on one side, Zach Gallen, going up against Christian Scott, who has been good. I'm not going to take that away from him, but he's obviously got a little bit smaller of a sample size to some degree here. So give me Gallen. And the Diamondbacks money line total sitting at 7.5. This is, I think you can cut this up either way. I would say under just because I'm trusting Gallen, but wouldn't be surprised if this one ends up at like a 5-3 type of game and it's over. You know what I mean? So I'm trusting that Gallen goes out there and does his thing, and it's not like this Arizona offense crushes righties. So should be a decent spot for maybe a 4-3 finish, 4-2 finish, that type of a thing. All right, Atlanta, massive favorites here over the Nationals, so not sure exactly what we'll roll with here, if anything. We know Atlanta struggled against righties, so if that's your angle to trying to take a flyer on the Washington Nationals at plus 180, go for it, but it is Ronaldo Lopez. He's obviously a good pitcher, so I'm kind of stuck in a, maybe we throw the Braves into some sort of a parlay or something like that, or look at a hit parlay with some of these guys, that type of thing. In terms of what we have for a total, but what I mean by that is I really can't can't get to the Nationals side, so probably going to lean Braves, but obviously we can't play that as a single bet. In terms of the total, I'm going to lean over as well. Trevor Williams, been pitching well, but not necessarily on the road. That's where he's going to be this game here. And this is a spot in which I think that Ronaldo Lopez, also against left-handed hitters, which there's more lefties in the lineup for Nationals than there's righties, he struggled a little bit as well. So if you give me like a 5-4 floor or say like a 6-3 floor, one run could probably stumble in somewhere at some point. So I'll lean over. But again, guys, this is one of the games that doesn't necessarily totally get my attention all that much. Unfortunately, similar to this one, Angels taking on the Yanks here. Yankees do pull out a bounce back win yesterday, but 2-1, like not a dominant win, you know what I mean? But today they're massive favorites, and rightfully so. Minus 180, I believe they are. Rightfully so here. Rodon on the mound going up against Patrick Sandoval. Sandoval has definitely been a fadeable pitcher for the most part this season. But what I could probably see here is maybe a first 5-run line for the Yankees, so minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings. They've done that in 8 of their last 10 games when favored 0.5. And it's minus 120 on DraftKings, so I could expect the Yankees kind of get out to a decent lead here in the first 5. I don't mind if you want to pull the trigger potentially on them run line overall, just given the fact that, you know, they have the better bullpen. But to win by 2 runs, minus 1.5, for minus 110, like I'd be looking for plus money there. So I probably like them in the first 5 more than anything. In terms of the total here, I'll lean towards the over as well. I think the Yankees can put up 5 today. It's a matter of 5 minimum. It's a matter of if this is a an Angels team that can come out there and kind of contribute as well. So I'll lean Yankees first 5 run line as well as the over, but kind of curious to see if they're able to go out there and the Angels in a sense and get to Rodon, who should have decent spot against them. He's going to throw a lot of fastballs. The change, the one thing is the Angels first in the league in runs above average per 100 sliders thrown, and he throws a decent amount of sliders, about 26%. They could get to that, and that could be troublesome, but I'll lean towards the over. I think the Angels offense, both these offenses should score more than 2 in 1 run, which is what they did yesterday. But guys, it's going to wrap it up for me today. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I know the last 2 days of picks haven't panned out all that well, but hopefully you guys are still getting some information and at least being entertained while watching this. So if you are and you made it this far into the video, comment entertained, because I'll be honest with you guys, I've talked about it before on live streams, talked about it with the Sauce when we interviewed him. I want to give good information and good picks, but we're still making YouTube videos at the end of the day, and I don't want to just be some drip being like, and he's got a 1.3 ERA with a batting average of it's like, no, I want to make videos and build a community that's also built on us having a good time. We're all sports betting at the end of the day, and here we go, an Ev rant. We're all sports betting at the end of the day, and sports betting, you want to win, no kidding, but so much of that should be sort of predicated on the idea of you have some juice on the game and everything like that, so, you know, you're going to have some more fun watching that game, or you have a little bit more of a, pulse during that game because you got $2 on it, you know what I mean? So that vibe should be carried through these videos, and it's not just all about winning and losing. We're lucky to win more than, we lose. Great. But I still want everyone to realize that, at the end of the day, we want to make good content, create good content. If we have a week of bad picks, I hope you still rock with me because I want to have a good time. So comment entertained if you made it this far into the video, and that, let me know that you hear that sentiment. Hopefully that makes sense. A lot of the times I don't make sense, but nonetheless, guys, I'm rambling at this point. Like always, I'll catch you guys in the next one, right? Peace out.